All right, we're going to start today looking at an interview billed as an exclusive interview, if you can imagine that, by right-wing radical TV network Newsmax with former President Donald Trump. Donald Trump, of course, giving a completely insane interview, lying about just about everything. But this is the man still at the head of the Republican Party. This is the man who most Republicans still say they would vote for. This is the man who most Republicans still say did win in November, and they would follow him out of the Republican Party to his own third party, or so they say. Let's just get right into it. We're not going to be able to look at all of it, but let's at least start looking at some of it.
Mr. President, thank you for sitting down with us. This experiment of Joe Biden as president, it's only been 4 months, and in the short 4 months, America is enduring numerous crises, both abroad and at home. It seems our country is deteriorating very fast, even faster than I would have thought. Your reaction?
Great question.
Well, it's pretty obvious. You look at what's going to happen is even scarier. The border is a disaster. We had the strongest border we've ever had, and within a month it became the weakest, and now you have tens of thousands of people flowing into our countries. And many.
So already understand the number of lies there. The border was a situation under Trump. It's a situation under Biden. It's gotten slightly better under Biden. That's the situation. There's a seasonality to crossings, which we've already talked about. But this is already a framing that's completely absurd. It's just, this is fantasy world framing. And this is what the entire interview was. Let's continue.
Criminals, frankly, released from jails in numerous countries. We have people coming in from the Middle East. We have people coming in from everywhere. You go to the airport.
So just casually, that's another unproven statement that there are people coming in through the border from the Middle East. He keeps repeating it. They all keep repeating it, but there's not actually evidence that that really took place. Let's continue.
Joe, how you doing? You come through the southern border and you just walk in. We're the strongest southern border ever, and it's very sad to see. The wall was so important. You know, we built almost 500 miles of wall.
Remember that most of that was just wall that was redone. That's all it was. I think about 70 miles of new wall were added. Just another lie.
And within a month it would have been finished, and they ended it.
And of course, within a month, nothing would have been finished. He promised that by the end of his first term, there would be a wall across the entire border. 1 more month would not have done anything.
They ended it.
Right.
Took 2.5 years to get the approvals to do it. I had to go to court. I had to do everything. We got the approvals. And so you have open spots, and it's ridiculous. I hear they're going to close them up, but now it's a big deal with the contractors because those transactions were made. It was all complete, but you look at so
just
many
rambling.
Other things. It's very sad to see what's happening. Inflation is going to be a big problem. It's going to drive.
So free association. Now on to a new topic.
A lot of things up and down, whichever is worse, because bad things.
Did you guys catch that? Inflation is going to drive things up and down, whichever is worse. Could be up, could be down. Either way, it's definitely going to be very bad.
Things happen with inflation, but you see that happening all over. Lumber, the cost of lumber, the cost of gasoline. Right. You look at gasoline, what's happened. I was at 287. Was high.
Remember that gasoline prices started climbing dramatically under Trump. Presidents have very little to do with gas prices, but they started climbing under Trump. The reason was there was a complete collapse in demand for gasoline at the start of the pandemic. At the end of 2020, things started going the opposite direction. Gas prices were going up under Trump. They've continued up under Biden because the economy is opening and because there is now demand.
That's when I got involved.
Right.
And it was in the 3s and a little bit in the 4s. And then I came in and I had it under $2. I had it for $1.87 actually. And when I left, it was under $2 substantially. And now it's going to be hitting $4.
Meaningless.
And that's bigger than any tax increase you can think of, especially for middle income people. So a lot of bad.
By the way, that's also untrue. If you look at just the average miles driven by middle income people, gas at 370 versus gas at 190, it is a difference, but it's not significant in the way Donald Trump wants you to believe relative to so many other things, child tax credit, COVID, cash, everything is a lie.
Things are happening. I don't think we're respected in the world.
That's, again, another factual, demonstrable lie. Respect and approval of the United States has skyrocketed since Trump left. We have studies on this, Pew Global Research. We've looked at them. Dramatically better opinion of the United States around the world since Donald Trump left. Everything is a lie, my friends.
Right now, there were never moves on Taiwan by China. Now you have bombers flying over Taiwan. Russia would have never encircled Ukraine like they did. Kim Jong-un was somebody that I had a great relationship with. We weren't going to have any problem with him, in my opinion. And now you look at what's going on there. A lot of bad things are happening.
I want to ask you about the Wuhan lab. You're reporting this week from the Wall Street Journal about workers there being so sickened as far back as November of 2019 that they were hospitalized.
Yeah.
The corporate media, now the
And we're going to talk about this later today and tomorrow.
Full bias corporate media is starting to come around to recognize that perhaps that is the origin, in fact, of the China virus. Even Dr. Fauci is changing his tune. Do you feel vindicated?
And again,
Full bias corporate media is starting to come around to recognize
Dr. Fauci is not changing his tune. OK, Dr. Fauci has said all along, investigate things. But right now, we don't have evidence this was a man-made bioweapon.
I have no doubt about it. I had no doubt about it. I was criticized by the press because China has a lot of people taken care of. They took care of Hunter. They took care of Joe. They took care of everybody, didn't they? And people didn't want to say China. Usually they blame it on Russia. It's always Russia, Russia, Russia. But I said right at the beginning, it came out of Wuhan. And that's where all the deaths were. Also, by the way, when we first heard about this.
Now, of course, remember, it came out of Wuhan is very different. Nobody denies that that was the human-centered infection source. The question is, was it an engineered bioweapon, as they claim? Was it naturally occurring, studied in a lab, and it accidentally leaked? I have no problem investigating those things, as I've said from the beginning. But Donald Trump says, I know exactly what it was. How does he know? He doesn't know anything about this stuff.
There were body bags, dead people laying all over Wuhan province, and that's where it happened to be located. So to me, it was very obvious. I said it very strongly, and I was criticized.
Really strong.
People are agreeing with me, so that's okay.
When it comes to China, the more we learn about their malfeasance regarding the virus and what they knew very early on and lied to the world.
Okay, so this is just normal Trump. I guess we would call it like Trump. Goes into xenophobic stuff. I want to skip ahead because of our limited time to another part of this interview. Let's continue.
Possibly, tens of millions of lives worldwide.
Mr. President, you mentioned gasoline, and
right.
The specific statistics are on Election Day, it was $2.20 a gallon national average, according to the Department of Energy. Right now, it's $3.11. That's a massive move, incredibly quickly since Election Day. I want to ask you about inflation, though, more broadly.
Did you see what they did there, guys? Did you see what they did? Since Election Day. Really? Well, who was president? November, December, and most of January. This is how they do it, okay? Big picture. Presidents have very little influence over gas prices. Micro, why are we now including since Election Day? Because they know that gas prices started jumping in late summer of 2020 under Trump, and they continued increasing under Trump. And yes, then they continued increasing under Joe Biden. This is how they take a phenomena that's observable and they politicize it. There's very little to politicize, actually, about gas prices, Biden or Trump.
Broadly, because you did business in the 1970s, the last time the U.S. saw really aggressive inflation. A lot of people, if they're young, have never operated in that kind of environment in America. What does this portend for Americans, this new Biden inflation spike?
Biden inflation spike. Let's listen.
Well, it's going to be ugly. When you look at the cost of a house, just the materials for a house, it's up 30 or 40% in the last few months, especially lumber. Lumber, they say you can't even get it. Perhaps they're closing down all their forests for environmental reasons. I disagree with that. I said, let's buy our lumber from ourselves. So we go to Canada, and Canada's they are very good negotiators in Canada. I did the USMCA, which was one of the great achievements because NAFTA was so bad. It was so horrible. Worst trade deal ever made.
All right. So again, here there's just so much. First of all, the differences between USMCA and NAFTA are relatively modest. Okay. Trump touting USMCA as some miraculous replacement to NAFTA. Just we've done deep dives on that. Completely false. This issue of connecting Biden to the increase in real estate prices and lumber. First of all, Under normal scenarios and during 2020, Trump bragged housing prices are up. Trump considered it a badge of honor. Housing prices are up. That's the sign of a good market. Trump's a real estate guy. Housing prices are up means developers like Trump make more money. Now, the same phenomena, which of course is a result of slowed down supply lines during the pandemic, combined with people wanting bigger spaces so that they can work from home in perpetuity, have driven up the cost of housing in some markets. And it has made lumber a scarce resource. OK, and now Trump is saying, well, that's bad. Well, you were saying that this was good and it was a sign of how great things were when you were president. It's all whatever they need to make of it at the time.
Although the deals they made with China were pretty bad, too, I will tell you that. But the worst trade deal ever made, and I got it done. So we have a great trade deal now, but they close up forests. They don't want to take down any trees. So we end up buying them from other countries.
All right. So Trump doing economics, always risky, and it makes no sense. I want to skip ahead to another part of the interview just to give us a sampling of everything that's going on here.
So it's very interesting what's happening. So I greatly respect what some of the governors are doing in some of the states. I think they can solve the problem maybe better than the federal government.
Okay, but regarding the federal response, if the Republicans do retake the Congress, as you're very much working toward in 2022, if you decide to run again and you win in 2024, in a potential, a hypothetical second Trump term, what can be done to counter the power of these oligarchs?
Well, I think what can be done, and very strongly, and when you say oligarchs, it's an interesting term, but I just say big tech, because what they do is illegal.
But they also silenced what should have been the biggest blockbuster story of the entire campaign. You know that. I certainly experienced this from the campaign side. The fact that the Hunter Biden laptop from hell story was completely censored and suppressed by big tech.
This is the big story for them that wasn't told. An incredibly flimsy conspiracy theory about the son of the Democratic candidate for president. That's the big story that they believe was not told. Okay.
In my view, that justifies labeling these operators as oligarchs. Is that fair?
Well, a lot of things are fair. Look, that was when we first had silencio. That's when we first had silence.
Zelensio. That's a little Spanish.
With Hunter Biden, because it was very bad for the Democrats. That was a very bad issue.
Guy.
And we'd bring it up. And I have to tell you, the New York Post was incredible. What they've done is incredible. And
It is incredible. That's true. Yeah.
the abuse they took, it was, I think it's a great newspaper, actually. And a lot of people are relying on it more and more.
Too bad.
The New
Yeah,
York
but they are.
Post has
A lot of people rely on Fox News, too. It's scary.
done an incredible job in that regard. But they took tremendous abuse. But that's when you first saw silence. They silenced a newspaper. It's the oldest newspaper in our country, I believe, and it's a big one.
Right.
But they silenced a newspaper in our country because they were talking about Hunter Biden. And the Senate we held, if I weren't involved in the Senate races, nobody ever says this, I believe it would be 60-40 right now with the Democrats leading by.
So this is a very interesting revisionist history. Understand that Donald Trump becomes president of the United States as the head of the Republican Party. In 2018, Republicans lose the House of Representatives to Democrats. In 2020, Republicans lose the Senate to Democrats, 50-50 with Kamala Harris as the tie-breaking vote. And in 2020, Republicans lose the White House. They lost everything under Trump. And Trump is somehow still making himself the hero of his own fairy tale by saying, well, listen, many of the seats we held in the Senate were thanks to me. This guy was behind Kelly Loeffler, and this guy was behind David Perdue, and they both lost in their special elections on January 5th. And even though it's abundantly clear that they lost partially because of his mishandling of the pandemic, partially because he just made this party a laughingstock for year after year after year, and he has the gall to say, thanks to me, it's only 50-50. It would have been even worse if it weren't for me.
10 instead of 50-50. And Mitch McConnell lost 2 seats that he should have had. He kept talking about, we're going to give you $600, they're going to give you $2,000. Who can win a race like that? Right. He said, you won't get a penny more to the public. You won't get a penny more. They're voting. And they're saying $2,000, and he's saying $600. He lost those 2 Senate seats, so we have 50-50. I think you would be 60-40 if I weren't endorsing. If you look at...
So there it is. Thanks to Donald Trump, my friends, Republicans at least can obstruct things which need 60 votes. 21 minutes on Newsmax of pure propaganda, lies, delusions, and complete and uttered meaningless distortions. And Republicans love it. They love it. And this is what they want more of in 2022. And this is what they want more of in 2024. Is it going to happen? I wish I could say definitely not. But this is the Republican Party that we're talking about. OK, find the entire interview if you want to go to the Newsmax YouTube channel. Remember that Monday, Memorial Day, we're doing our one-day membership special. Membership bomb on Monday. We'll do a huge discount off of membership for the federal holiday. If you would like to be notified, make sure you're on my newsletter. Sign up at davidpakman.com. Quick break. Back after this. One of our sponsors today is Helix Sleep, and it's a sponsor I'm thrilled about because I sleep on a Helix mattress at home, and it's just the perfect mattress. One of the best things about Helix is you don't have to guess which mattress do I need, which one will be good for me. You take their famous sleep quiz on their website, you tell them your body type, your sleeping position, your back pain issues you might have, and they will pair you with a mattress that will be perfect for you. I took the sleep quiz. The mattress they suggested was exactly what I needed. I often get too hot at night. The mattress keeps me cool. It's not too soft. It's not too firm. The texture is right. And I've just been getting way better sleep. You only buy a mattress every decade or so. Don't get stuck with something that's not perfect for you. And all Helix mattresses come with a 10-year warranty, and they'll even come to your house and pick it up within 100 days if you don't love it. But I think you will. All of my viewers will get up to $200 off your order, and you'll get 2 super premium pillows for free when you go to the link right underneath this video.